Hey, yo, test, 1, 2, 3. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not testing anymore. It's just me. What's up? It's me. It's your boy KP. Yeah, sorry. I'm not testing anymore. I'm not going to edit it, so you're just going to hear it. Okay, this is my second time recording this, so here goes and good luck. Yeah, just wanted to do another one of my, I don't know, podcasts. Again, still don't know what I'm going to call this. Let's just call it KP's podcast. KP's cast? No, that's not good. Anyway, so yeah, just doing a podcast. Normally, I do these podcasts because I just watch a movie or something, maybe TV. I might do that later. I did watch one movie. Actually, I watched two movies. This would be a really good time for me to decide which one I want to talk about. But technically, I did watch two movies. I did watch with a friend of mine at the Hollywood Bowl. I did watch the live orchestra, um, uh, live orchestra of How to Train Your Dragon, which is really good. It was actually my first time actually watching a movie. I never watched it. I watched two, but I didn't watch three, and I've never watched one all the way through. So it was my first time actually being able to experience that with a live orchestra, which was really great. Um, don't really have too big a review other than it was really great. Hollywood Bowl just recently put in a new sound system for this season, and it's incredible. Had a really great time. Shout outs to my friend Ralph, who invited me to watch it with him. We had a little man date. And it was a very memorable. Well, this experience is memorable just because it's my first time watching it, not because Ralph is dreamy or anything. No, man, I had a really cool time, and again, it's first time watching the film. Um, and like I said, this is the second time me recording this, so um, I didn't get to the first time I was recording this. I didn't get to actually talk about another movie that I watched, which was the Odyssey. I watched that with shout outs to my other friends, Glenda. Uh, Still, every single podcast, I have to like cough in the middle of it. But whatever, let's do it. We're just gonna cough. But that was an experience as well too, watching that movie. Um, my hot take with the Odyssey is I didn't like it. Didn't like the movie. Um, I think a lot of people had a lot of commentary on the social aspect of the movie outside of the movie, in terms of like casting, in terms of any kind of like social pressures of what they felt like the movie had to be socially acceptable. I know the movie's been um, drawing a lot of eyes just because it's 70 millimeter, shot in IMAX. I didn't get to see it in IMAX, unfortunately. It's super sold out. Oh, it's so hard to be able to go. But still, watch the movie. It was really nice. Oh man, and shot well. But yeah, my hot takes on it is just, man, it was just not. The story was flimsy. I know it's based off of the Odyssey, like the whole poem of the Odyssey, but it's just like it just wasn't paced well. I think my biggest hot take was Odyssey should not have been a film. It should have been an 8 to 12 part HBO series. It it is very HBO if you think about it. It's a very it shoots very much like kind of a Game of Thrones. Um, it's very Game of Thrones. Actually, like if you told me that the Odyssey was just like a Game of Thrones spinoff, I think it would have been nicer, and also more appealing to actually have the whole like 8 to 12 part miniseries on it. I think a lot of scenes within, and I'm not going to spoil the film if you haven't watched it. I mean, go watch it if you want. But I think a lot of scenes within that film could have been standalone episodes, 1 to 2, like 2 part episodes. Um, and it just needed to be. I mean, to put it kindly, it needed to be fleshed out more. A lot of the characters were just like you saw them, and you're just like you just have to assume who this person is. I was like, okay. Also, the writing was jarring. A lot of people's dialogue was not very well depicted, and this could be a couple of things. Maybe number one, I think when we hear something classic, we're very used to, like, our ears are very used to hearing period pieces within a period. And it's not to say that everyone had to sound Greek. I have no idea what that sounds like. Um, like in Game of Thrones, everyone sounded British because it feels very period piece that everyone has that very like British accent to a degree. Um, I think the problem with this film is they didn't pick a lane. Like, I don't mind if everyone sounded like a certain, but everyone is from the same place for the most part. If there were like, but yeah, it's like there was no commitment to delving into the period. Um, and it's not even to say the accents; it was also the dialogue, the word usage. Like, there was a lot of, like, it's very classic. It feels very classic, and it feels very there were no layers between people and people groups. Also, there was a lot of, I think, like, my thing was just like conjunctions. I was like, if it's a very like, if people are speaking very very honorably, like, the use of conjunctions was throwing me off. Like, people using can't and wouldn't and won't, and I was like, it's just weird. Like, when you're trying to sound super formal and you use a conjunction in it, like, a conjunction is a shortcut word. But if you're trying to be formal, you don't use the shortcut. The idea of shortcut is informality. Like, at least in my head, at least, like, and people can argue this. Fine, I don't care. Like, I'm not I'm not an English major or whatever, or language major. But, like, when you use a conjunction, in your head, it's like it's a shortcut word. So it's used for informal speech. So when you're talking formally, like, there were scenes where they were talking within like a palace, like within a palace, in front of royalty, and everyone's using conjunctions. I was like, I don't understand. Like, you wouldn't like we don't even use it in regular speech. Like, if I'm talking to the president, I'm gonna try to not use um if my goal was to sound formal, I'm not using conjunctions. I'm not saying can't or wouldn't or whatever. So, like, the choice of dialogue was very very interesting, and then, yeah, a lot of the characters were not fleshed out, and some of the main characters were like, you dive into the piece without understanding who you're trying to root for. Like, and like Odysseus. Like, the way that they introduced him was like, who is this guy? Why do we care so much about him? And then, like, it's like you jumped into episode 3 of like a 12-part series, and you're just like, oh, this Odysseus guy. I was like, who are you talking about? Perhaps people would make the argument, it's just like, oh, like, well, if you're gonna watch the movie, like, Odyssey, Odysseus. I was like, yeah, but the thing is, like, the movie has to allow you to delve into the story, not assume that that's what you're there for. Like, that's what good storytelling does. Also, the pacing was really weird. So many flashbacks that you didn't. It's like, am I looking at the present, the past, the future? What am I looking at? Like, I don't know what I'm looking at. And the film, the post editing of this film was all over the place. It's like you didn't know what you were looking at. And I was like, am I looking at the present, the past, the future? Like, the film needs to make it more obvious, like, where you, like, at what angle you're looking at. Now, if it's like a movie like Memento, where, like, the whole idea is that everything's a flashback until the very beginning, like, I get that. But again, like, the movie needs to guide you to that. It shouldn't be jarring. And if you're gonna do that, you should commit to it. Like, it really did feel like this movie didn't commit to the bit. And, like, It really felt that way. And then like towards the end of the movie, I was like, okay, it's linear storytelling again. I was like, you didn't commit. Like you should have committed to like this whole like jumping back and forth between time to tell your story, but you didn't. Like you went halfway through it and you're just like everything's gonna be linear now. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So like in the beginning, what was I looking at? Was I looking at the past or the present? Like I have no idea. Um, there's a lot. Me and my friends also had like we have like this big um what you call it we have this big opinion that the like the way the movie the way we didn't like the movie was on purpose. And this is a long grab and I'm not going to commit to it too much here, but basically it's because it only matters or it only makes sense between like me, my friend, and another friend of mine. But basically we really felt like the movie was insulting the audience. Like the movie was made on purpose. The movie was made to feel bad. Because if you really looked at like how the movie was established and what the movie was actually saying, it was actually a larger commentary on on society at large. It's such a deep cut and a deep hot take, but it's like it's commentary on how society tried to create this film. Like our opinion is that Chris Nolan is trying to insult society by saying, I'm going to give you like this film that you wanted, that you're going to love. But actually, what the film is doing is insulting your intelligence. So if you want to hear that, you can just message me, and then I'll go through like how we got or we arrived to that conclusion. So if you really want to know, you can message me about it. You can mess or like put it in the comments. Hey, can you go deep? And I'll go deep about it if you really want to know. But on other than that, we really didn't like the movie. And I am so, I mean, like so many of these other like podcasts, I'm so just like tempted to do the theology of it all. Um, there wasn't a lot. There was a lot of just like half-heartisms of like that sounds like scripture, but then they're saying Zeus said it or Athena said it or some other Greek god said it, which actually might be true. Like there's a lot of overlapping morality during that time where like certain like Grecian or Roman morals and ethics were overlapping with the moralities and ethics that you can find in the Bible, to the point where just like a lot of those writing the Bible, a lot of uh, uh, the apostles writing the Bible, such as Paul. Like, I mean, considering that he's half Roman citizen, like he had a lot of those writings. At least like he had access to a lot of those writings. So within more audiences that were more accustomed to those moralities, he would use that as inspirations. So like one of the things was just like greeting strangers. That was one thing like that you defined in the Bible. You don't know if you're greeting like an angel, and the Odyssey would actually say you don't know if you're greeting a god. I was like, okay, yeah, like that's a little bit biblical, ergo, like um, a um, a parsing of or a barring of the whole like socio religious climate of the day when it came to Grecian slash Roman theology. So, I mean, there was like a little bit of that. That I can glean from that. It very much borrowed. I would say it borrowed each other. Um, the idea of like the underlying movie really depicted the idea of satisfying the gods. Like if you do something, you get like you're not gonna get away with it. Um, if you do something bad, bad things will happen. Blah blah blah. Like that's the whole point of the movie, more or less. It's just like, can you escape? Can you escape offending the gods? Can you do that? But then it's also, to a degree, it's like if you offend someone, like, not offend is not really like, um it's the question of, I think it's the biggest question is justice. Like if as a human you're unjust, then you need to rectify that. You need to make sure justice is done on behalf of the unjust things that you've done. I mean, yeah, like, I don't have too much to say about it because I really wish it was more compelling within the movie. Because it would be nice to kind of delve into it, but I really just did not like the movie so much that I was like, like, kind of makes a point. Um, the movie is very just like, it's, yeah, it's not a good movie. Um, I will say this though, like the saving grace of this movie is the cast. I have nothing bad necessarily to say about like the people who acted within the movie. People have opinions, like, that's fine. Um, I don't know if it was I don't know if it was well casted, but I will say the cast within the movie did their best to make a good movie. I will say it that way. And there were some really good scenes, but again, it's just like, I think a lot of the scenes like get drowned out by um they get drowned out by the fact that, like, it's just not well written. Or I'll say it this way to be kind. It's not that it's not well written necessarily, even though I really think that, but it's not fully written. It was like the way that they were writing the Odyssey and the way that this movie was created. It was not made for the 3 hour runtime. It was made for an 8 to 12 uh 12 episode long series. That's the way that it was. That's the way it was written. So it's like, oh, it's a bunch of teenagers coming out. You gotta love it. Um, man. And I'm starting work in 2 days, so I'm gonna be around teenagers again. That's gonna be great. Anyway, yeah. I'm not sure if I really liked the movie. It was okay, decent. That being said, the other movie that I watched was How to Train Your Dragon, and watching it at Hollywood Bowl was really great. And I had some things to say. Not anything bad. It was actually really good, and I had a really great experience about it. Maybe in my next episode, I'll try to reevaluate my thoughts. They've already gone the way of corruption because it got corrupted by the my first recording because my phone, I think it overheated or something. So I can go back to it another time. Um, but it was really great. I really feel for characters like Hiccup who are just trying to find their place within the world. In a world where they feel ostracized because of who they are, because they don't fit into the mold that everyone else is trying to fit into. So yeah, um, I think my biggest thing, I'll just leave it with this, that I don't think Hiccup was the main character of the movie. My depiction of the main character was Stoic. Stoic made the biggest change. He was the he was the biggest protagonist because he was the one that made the biggest change. He had to accept the way that his boy was. Hiccup never changed. The entire movie, he doesn't change. He knows what he is, and he continues to double down on who he is. When he's faced with changing, when he's faced with uh, trying to kill the Night Fury, he can't do it because he knows who he is. And he doubles down on it. He's just like, I'm not a person that kills dragons. I'm not a Viking that kills dragons. I'm a Viking that rides them. I'm a Viking that protects them. And I was like, there you go. Like, he knows. He never changed. But the person that does is Stoic. Stoic is the one that changes the most. Stoic is the one that's just like, yeah, I um I was wrong about my boy. I accept him for the person that he is because the person that he is beautiful. Um, it just took the right situation, the right people, the right circumstance for me to realize who my boy really is. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Um, Go watch Odyssey if you really want to. You don't have to. If you want to, go ahead. Why not? But if you don't, whatever. You guys have a good week.